he is going to then transition towards the phase of civil disobedience. Okay, Gandhiji then he is going to transition to the phase of civil disobedience. Now, when we are talking about the civil disobedience, what is going to happen here? The civil disobedience, it could also be known as Satyagraha phase, it could also be known as passive resistance phase, or it could also be known as the Satyagraha. Yes, passive resistance, civil disobedience, or the Satyagraha phase, or it could also be known as extremist phase. Why? Because, my dear friends, whenever we talk on the extremist phase, what have we known of the extremist phase? The extremist phase, they are what? The extremist phase, it is going to be extra constitutional. Apart from extra constitutional, their methods, it is going to be that they are going to do protest, they are going to do Swadeshi, they are going to do boycott. Okay, so all of these were methods. They are going to do strikes and everything. They are going to do the various marches. They are going to march from here to there. So all these were methods. So similarly, here also there was the extremist phase, and this extremist phase could also be known as passive resistance, civil disobedience, or the Satyagraha. Now, what does passive resistance or civil disobedience mean? Initially, what was the thing is that when someone went to protest, and when the Britishers told them to go back, otherwise they would lathi charge, so the people, what happened is that they went back to their houses. So there was very little resistance that was put up against the Britishers. However, here what happened is that Gandhiji, when he is going to start this extremist phase, he is going to start the passive resistance. And within this passive resistance, what is Gandhiji going to do? Is that when the people, means I'm just giving you an idea that how we can categorize things. When the people are going to go to do the protest and the Britishers at that point of time tell that we would beat you and lock you up in the jail if you do not go back to your houses, people resisted it, and yet people did the silent protest. And then they were picked up and put in jails, but they were okay with that also. So that was what? Resistance. That if you beat the person on one cheek, show the other side. Then beat, show the other side. Then take the beating, show the other side. Take the beating, show the other side. So like that, just resist. So that was resistance. Without complaining, you are just, means without taking the action back, you are just resisting. You are not retaliating. So that is there. Disobedience, civil disobedience, it also means what? It also means that you are not accepting to the laws that have been created by the British, means you are disobeying the British. So that is also what? Again, a resistance. So here, would this be constitutional or extra constitutional? Because would the British or would any constitution or law ever have that point wherein it would be clearly stated that if you do not like the law, you can disobey it? Obviously not. It cannot be done like that. So that is not constitutional, but it is extra constitutional, because here also Gandhiji is going to be like, you have to do the phase in a non-violent manner. Alright, so that is going to be the phase of civil disobedience, also known as passive resistance. Now, when we talk on this scenario, the second phase of struggle in South Africa, which began in 1906, was characterized by the use of passive resistance, civil disobedience, or Gandhiji. So now what you can do is that here, now you know that passive resistance and civil disobedience, they are going to be the characteristics of the Gandhian movement. So that means that in the Gandhian movement, which was also an extremist phase, okay, wherein you know that passive resistance and civil disobedience both are extra constitutional in nature. So Gandhiji's movement, that is Satyagraha was also extra constitutional in nature. Satyagraha was also extremist in nature, and this Satyagraha, it would include passive resistance. This Satyagraha, it is going to include passive resistance plus civil disobedience movement, or disobeying the British. So that is what is the ideal here. Now when we talk, when Gandhiji had started this particular movement, at that point of time only, Britishers had started a new aspect of registration certificates. Now these particular registration certificates, what were they? So it was similar to the idea that in today's time, okay, everyone has the Aadhaar card. So what are we doing? We are going to the Aadhaar centers and we are putting our thumbprint, we are giving our iris, and we are giving our data, and then after that the Aadhaar card is being made. So similarly, there was there was the aspect of registration certificate. However, it is not 100% same. It is just the 0.5% of what is the usage of Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is not a source of citizenship. Okay, Aadhaar card is just a document that helps you get things. Okay, so it is one aspect. So the Britishers, what they had done is that they had started the registration certificates wherein they had told that the immigrants in the South Africa, what they had to do is that they had to go to the registration centers, give their details, get a registration certificate made, and on that registration certificate would there be a fingerprint, and those particular people will have to carry those registration certificates with them all the time. They could not leave it at home, and whenever the British officials asked for the registration certificates, the particular immigrants had to show the registration certificates. Now just imagine if someone is walking on the road and if the Indian government official comes, hey, come here, are you a citizen of India? Come on, show me your documents, show me your documents. So how will that sound? Obviously it is going to be disrespecting. So like that also, when the Britishers created this registration certificate, it was disrespecting. So Gandhiji here, he is going to be against it, and he's going to start a movement, okay, here in order to stop the registration certificates. So what Gandhiji is going to do is that Gandhiji, he is going to call for a meeting at the Empire Theatre, which was in Johannesburg at that point of time, and he told that Indians, they should refuse to submit to this law. Means Indians should not submit to this law. And the Britishers had told that if the Indians do not go with the registration certificates, if the Indians do not come and register themselves, they would either go to jail or either they would be deported back. But here Gandhiji told that do not submit to this law. And for that, Gandhiji, when he called the people to Empire Theatre in Johannesburg, Gandhiji at that point of time, he is going to launch a passive resistance association. It was to teach the people on how to carry out the campaign. So here what did Gandhiji say is that Gandhi